Hi, welcome back. What is wax melt? Wax melt is, you can say, it's a form of candle but without fire. So this is just a standard mold. I'm gonna open it and I'm gonna remove the wax from here. So you can see wax melts, also known as a wax dart, are a small fragrant piece of wax that you can melt in a wax warmer to release their scent. They are typically divided into cubes which you break apart and place into the warmer. No flame is needed, so they are safe and easy alternative to candles. But for the best result, you need to follow the right step. The warmer I'm using is a pretty standard. This is what it looks like. You just plug it in and there's no fire needed. So lots of people like to get these so that they don't have to worry about a flame constantly going in their house. To get started, you'll need a few supplies. I recommend getting a pouring pitcher. This is necessary if you're doing either the double boiler method or if you do have type of presto pot at home. You'll need this with either method. Pouring pitcher is essential for transferring the melted wax into the mold. Personally, I use pouring pitcher to add fragrance oil in melted wax. Double boiler or presto pot. You'll need one of these to melt the wax. Double boiler is traditional method that uses steam to heat the wax, while presto pot is modern option that heat directly. If you want to go as a professional candle maker, then eventually you're gonna buy presto pot. But if you are just making for fun or as a hobby, boiler is a best cheap option. You will also need a kitchen scale to measure out your ingredient accurately. Next, you'll need wax mold. You can get them from Amazon or you can use silicone mold as well as. For wax, I recommend using soya wax dart, and for fragrance oil, I'm going to make a different scents batches. So here I'm gonna use Egyptian amber from Candle Science, cocoa butter cashmere from Midwest Fragrance Company, Walking in the Woods from California Candle Supplies, Jamaica Me Crazy from California Candle Supplies. My most of fragrance oil either way come from California Candle Supply or Candle Science. Those are very nice. I love them. If you're new, they have lots of suggestion based on notes also, so you can go and check out their website. Now I'm gonna measure my fragrance oil as I'm gonna make it in a batches. So I'm gonna use a small silicone cup to measure and put it on side. Measuring our fragrance oil, let's talk about few things that are going in my mind. First, make sure the oil you are using is recommended to formulated for the particular wax that you are using. Soya wax is a popular choice, especially soya 464, which you can get it from any popular website. Candle Science gives a rating on how well an oil work with soya wax. Another thing to keep in mind is that certain oils are meant to give a subtle fragrance while others are stronger. Cinnamon, for instance, is a strong scent, and regardless of the wax you use, it will give off a strong smell. On the other hand, floral and citrus scents tend to be more subtle. Therefore, you need to use a calculation to determine how much fragrance oil you'll need for your wax. It is important to note that when making candles or wax melt, everything should be measured by weight, not volume. This is why a kitchen scale is essential. 6 clamshells, we are using 400 grams of tart wax and 55 grams of fragrance oil. Since I'm making several batches, I repeat the same process, and all these batches are the same size. So they use the same amount of wax. So each cup has around 55 gram of oil. So it's roughly 14%, a little bit higher for wax melt. That's the amount I like to use for candles. I usually use 9 to 10% most of time, but the wax melt, you can squeeze a little bit more oil in there and you don't have to worry about wicking. So the wax I'm using is a dart wax that can hold up to 18% of fragrance oil. So make sure that whenever you are making candles or wax melt, to check with your supplier how much percentage of fragrance oil they can hold. So don't use more than what recommended. It's not safe.
I'm going to add temperature at 185 and stir it well. To speed things up, I want to show you an entire process of stirring the entire time, but I do stir for about 1 minute or so. Generally, the most important thing is to stir until the time to pour. I don't want to pour when it smells too hot because it can actually go through container, plastic container. So I'll try to pour no hotter than 160, but I'm usually around 155 or 150 mark. Now I move over to where I had the clamshells laid out and will start filling them up. I'm very careful with the first couple of clamshell to get flow going on. But I wanted to talk about the tool that I'm using. It's a game changer in my candle making process. I came across this idea on TikTok and found the tool on Amazon. It's a stainless steel waffle batter dispenser, and it has made my candle making process much faster and efficiently. One of the things I love about this tool is that it's perfect for making candle for big batches. The dispenser design allow for easy and precise pouring of wax, which makes the process much faster and reduce the chance of uneven distribution and spillage or making a mess. The other thing is dispenser. It's a trigger operated mechanism, so you can control the flow of wax, and which save me time and reduce the waste of wax. I highly recommend giving the stainless steel waffle batter dispenser and try your candle maker and looking for your making your process easy, and it has certainly made a candle making experience much faster and more efficient, and I'm sure it will help you too also. Once all the wax melts are poured into the clamshells, I let them sit for about an hour or so to fully harden. After that, I'm going to put warning labels, and that pretty much that process for making wax melts. Of course, there are different variations and scents that you can add. Basic process remain the same. If you want, you can add color, dry, flower. That up to you.
I hope you enjoy this video and learn few tips and tricks to make your wax melt making process easier. Don't forget to give thumbs up to this video if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe us for more tips and tricks for your DIY projects and for your small business. See you next week.